Hey everybody, welcome to the linuxin.com. In today's video, we are going to talk about Python Pandas library. So I'm going to tell you that what exactly Python Pandas library is and how can we use it, what's the use of it in future, and also we are going to take a look at how can we install it, and then finally we are going to do an example, how can we use it in the Python code. Okay, so without a further ado, let's start. So first of all, Pandas was developed out of the need for an efficient way to manage the financial data in Python. Okay, so Pandas is a library that can be imported into the Python to assist with manipulating and transforming the financial data, the numerical data, you can say. Okay, so Pandas is now managed by a group of engineers and supported by the NUM-focused nonprofit, which will ensure its future growth and support. So it means the future of Pandas is safe. You can create your projects. Okay. So now let's go one step ahead and let's install it. So before installing and before going into the code, I'm assuming that you have Python installed on your system. You know the basics of programming, you know the array, you know the index, and you know the values. These are the simple things that you need to have the knowledge of. Okay, so let's go ahead, open the terminal by pressing Ctrl-Alt-T, and once your terminal is opened up, you can write a few commands. So first of all, before installing, you have to have a pip module installed in your system. If you don't have, you can do that by writing the command as apt-get and install python-pip. You hit enter. Okay, it's giving me some sort of result error, right? So let me just right here sudo apt. If you get this sort of error sometime, so you can simply fix it by using this command. Okay, you know, once this command is executed, your issue will be resolved. Okay, so once you have executed that command, now you can simply go ahead and you can execute the command to install the pip module. Install python-pip. Okay, you hit enter and it will start to install the pip. Okay, so I already have the pip module installed, so it took less time, but in your case, if you're going to install it for the first time, it is going to take a while. So now I'm going to install the Pandas library. So how would I do that? I would write a command here, pip install Pandas. That is the simplest command. Okay, you write it, and once you write it down and you hit enter, and it starts to install the Pandas library. Okay, so now once you have installed the Pandas library, you remember that we can manage, you know, huge amount of financial data and numerical data with the Pandas. So we will do a very small example. Of course it won't be a huge chunk of data or something like that. It is going to be very small example. So basically you would get the idea that what exactly this thing is. Okay, so for that, first of all, let me just create a folder here on my desktop. I would name it as Python program folder. Okay, so now let me create a Python file. Let me just first of all save it in this folder. I'm going to save this file and I'm going to name it as, let's say, Pandas or series, maybe. Yes, series.py. Okay, so .py is the extension which actually makes it a Python file. Okay, so now even if I close it, you can see in the folder that we have a .py file. It is empty right now. It doesn't have any code. So right now you cannot see the Python logo inside the file, but as soon as we have the code inside of it, you would see, and we save it, you would see the color of the file would definitely change. Okay, so okay, right now it's opening another file, so we want to open up this file, and once we open that, now it's time to write the code. Okay, so first of all, we want to import the library. So the next step is that let's create a series. A series is something like we will give the values and it will generate the index automatically, and simply you can give the indexes and the values as well. So right now we are going to generate some of the values, and it will we are going to give some of the values, and it is going to generate the index automatically. Okay, so we'd write here a variable, let's say panda variable, okay, equals pandas dot series, then this thing here, and then inside the big brackets we're gonna write 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so these are the values that we have given, and the index would be generated. So let's print this variable to see that what do we have in this variable, panda variable, panvar. Okay, so now we save it, and now you can see the logo of the Python actually has appeared inside the file. So we go to the terminal, and now we try to run our Python file. Okay, so in order to run, first of all we need to go to the directory in which your Python file lies. Okay, so that is simple. First of all, let me just clear it. We're going to write here cd, and then we're going to write this sign, and then simply because our file our folder is on desktop, so we write here desktop, and then the folder name is Python program folder. So we just hit enter, and now we have successfully gone into the folder. In order to take a look at what is inside the folder, you would write this command ls, and you would see series.py is the file which is inside. So in order to run this file, we would write here python, then dot slash the file name, which is like series.py. We hit enter, and now you can see that we have the result. So we have in our code, if we go here, we have 1 2 3 4 5. We have 5 values basically. Okay, so if we go back to our terminal, you can see 1 2 3 4 5, but we have 5 indexes as well, but the indexes are starting from 0. So the thing is that you can manually give indexes as well. The indexes don't have always to be like 0 1 2 3 4 5. It could be anything. It could be your name, it could be A B C D, but in that case you have to give the name of the indexes. Okay, so you have to specify the indexes. If you do not specify the indexes, it's going to be 0 1 2 3. It's going to start from 0 always. Okay, hope you've got the point. So the next thing, let's say what we're going to do in the code. So now what we are going to do, we are going to remove this for a second, and now we will actually create indexes, and after creating indexes, on the parallel of that, we are going to give value to each index. So as I told you that you can name the index whatever you want. Okay, so now let's create the same variable, panda variable equals, and then pandas dot series, then you write here like this, brackets, small brackets, and now you're going to write here, okay, big brackets, and inside of that you can give like any value. So like I would give 100, 200, 300, 400, and 500. So these are the 5 values that I have given. Now I want to specify the index of each value. So remember that if you do not specify the index, it's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and if you specify, it's going to be that. So let's say I specify an index. If I specify, let's say 491, 495, 497, it's going to be in that order. Okay, so you would get the idea once we do that. Okay, so once you have done it, you're going to put a comma here, and you're going to write here index equals, and you are going to simply, inside the big brackets, you are going to put the index name. For example, A, let's say B, let's say C, let's say D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so one more index, E. So now this A, B, C, D, E could be like 491, like 591, 691, 680, 780, doesn't matter, whatever it is, like so in order to understand it in a better way, let me just decrease the value to, like, we have 3 values and we're going to have 3 indexes, and let's name it as the third index as Windows, and the second one as Mac, and the first one as Linux. So now you will get a better idea. So the index name is Linux, Mac, Windows. So Linux has 100 value, Mac has 200 value stored inside of it or correspondent to it, and Windows has 300 value on that index. Like on Windows index we have a value of 300. So now go to the next line and print this in order to see that what happens. So print PANVAR, panda variable. We save it, we go back to our terminal, and we try to run our file again. Python, let me just first clear it. Python dot slash series dot py. We hit enter, and now it gives some sort of error. Oh, because I have not written the complete spellings of Python, so pardon me for that. Series dot py. So now you can see that the index on is the Linux, the index name is Linux, and the value is 100. The index name is Mac, the value is 200. The index name is Windows, and the value is 300. So in the same way, you can name the index whatever you want and the value whatever you want. So index could be number, it could be name, it could be an alphabet, it could be anything. Okay, so hope you have got the idea. So that was the code for writing an index and storing the value on it. So the next thing that we are going to do is that you can simply point to an index, and you can print the value as well, the single value on a single index. So let's see how we can do that. So for that we would print here the variable, and we would specify the index. Let's say here we specify Windows. So once you have done, once you have written it here, you just save it and you try to run your program again by writing python dot slash file name is series.py. You hit enter, and now you can see the value is 300, which is stored correspondent to the Windows index. Okay, so 300 has now been printed out. So the next thing that we can do is that we can also play with the operators in the series, like equals, less than, and greater than. Let's try that out as well. So what you can do is that you can go here, PNVAR, you can simply write that, and inside the double brackets you can write here PANVAR less than, let's say, 250. So it simply means that this variable, the PANVAR, panda variable, the values which are less than 250, it is gonna show you those values. So we have only two values less than 250, which are 100 and 200. So we save it and we go back. We try to run our program again, series.py. We hit enter, and now you can see it is basically printing out only two values and indexes, Linux, which is 100, Mac, which is 200. Okay, so the last thing that we're gonna try is that the boolean verification, that you can also verify that if this index exists or not. Okay, so how do you do that? You go back into your code. I think we need to write it inside the print maybe. Let's try to do that. We save it, we go back, we try to, yes, now you can see that we have true. So it prints out true. It means that Linux exists as an index. So let's try something different here. Let's do it like A. So now A doesn't exist because it isn't the part of our indexes. So we'd write here again python dot slash series dot py. We hit enter, and now you can see we have the result as false because that index doesn't exist. Alright, so thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments below. And for written articles, you can visit our website linuxhint.com. Rate, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.